Greetings, church, and welcome to today's devotion. I want to share with you from Romans chapter 12, beginning at verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. Paul begins this great verse with a great encouragement. In fact, it's not just Paul encouraging us. Of course, it's the Holy Spirit who is speaking through Paul to encourage us. And so he says, I beseech you, or I urge you. In other words, listen carefully to what I'm about to say. And the first thing Paul says to us is, therefore, by the mercies of God. He wants us to remember how merciful God has been to each and every one of us. Has God been merciful to you? If you ever ask that question, all you have to do is go back to the cross of Jesus Christ and remember that God has demonstrated His love to you in that while you were still a sinner, Christ died for you. The cross is God's mercy to a fallen, broken people. And not only that, but since coming into the family of God through Jesus Christ, God over and over shows us mercy. If you think of your past, you can probably remember many failures, many sins, many times that you were found faithless or walking away. But what you should always remember as well is that God has been merciful through it all. So now Paul says, remember God's mercy, remember His love, and then present your bodies a living sacrifice. He doesn't just mean your physical body, although it does include that. He means your whole life, your mind, your life, your heart, everything about you. Your life as a husband, your life as a teacher, your life as a student, as a parent, or as a worker. Whatever you are in life, bring it all to God. Lay it before Him. And as a sacrifice, say to God, Lord, here I am. Do whatever you want to do in my life. Lay your life down for the Lord. It is true that Jesus, when He died for us, He gave us all of Himself. And so in return, in appreciation, let us present ourselves and give Him all of us. The Holy Spirit here is not necessarily making a demand. He's not forcing us. He's not threatening us. He's calling us to present ourselves. Well, Paul gives it 3 descriptions. It's living, it's holy, it's acceptable. It's living because this is a daily thing that we are to do. Every morning that we awaken and experience new mercies, it's time to say, Lord, here I am once again. Every day, it's a living sacrifice. It's also to be holy. To be holy means to be separated from and to be devoted to. And so the Lord has already separated us from the world. But now it's time for us to devote ourselves to Him, a holy sacrifice. And we are to be acceptable, or in other words, well-pleasing to God. Can we say, like Jesus, I do all those things that please my Father? Or as a husband, can you say that about your wife? I do the things that are pleasing to my wife? How do we do that? How do we do what's pleasing to another? Well, I think you should first find out what makes that person happy, what satisfies them, what gives them gladness. And once we find that thing out, then do the things that give them joy. And so, how are we to know what the Lord wants? Well, it's right here in His Word. And to be well-pleasing to God is to know what makes Him happy and then to do the things that make Him happy. And Paul ends all of this with, this is your reasonable service. In other words, this is the logical conclusion. Just like if you were to say 1 + 1 = 2, that's a logical conclusion. Well, equally true. Add up all the mercies of God in your life, all that He's done. And you know what that equals? It equals your life on the altar. Here I am. Do what you want in my life. I pray this encourages you and gives you a great reason to come to God once again today and say, here I am. God bless you and thank you.